You consider yourself a liberal in most, and as do I. But
But what it means to be a liberal has changed
yeah,
in a lot of ways.
yeah,
And it's not about the social issues as much as it is about this subscribing to whatever the orthodoxy or whatever the ideology preaches. And it seems like when it comes to things like vaccines, like that is something you never question. And this is the name that shall not be uttered.
yeah.
Yeah. And when you start questioning things, people get angry at you. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to talk about it unless they know someone has been injured. And when that happens, generally, people have an open mind and they start to change. And I think so many people know so many people that have been injured now that they're a little more critical.
It's unclear to me how an orthodoxy unravels.
Yeah.
Because and Mark Twain said it. I think it was Mark Twain. Yeah, said it. That it's easier to fool somebody than to persuade. It's easier to fool a man than to persuade him that he's been fooled.
Right.
Once they swallow it,
Yeah.
they don't want to relinquish it because
Ego.
Yeah,
your
or
ego doesn't want-
or it just threatens their worldview. And there's so many things that are threatening about believing the counter narrative that you and I now are seeing. Because then, can I trust my doctor? Can I trust the authorities? Can I trust my country and all of that? And it's really the entire cosmology around which we've kind of weaved and constructed our lives. The whole foundations are, you have to start questioning everything, and most people don't want to do that. I think it's terrifying, and I understand that. I see it in my family.
Yeah. It's certainly bizarre. It's bizarre to witness. It's bizarre to witness because, I've witnessed it with people that I was a fan of intellectually. And then all of a sudden I'm seeing them buy into this, and then I see these telltale signs of them not willing to adjust with new data, with new information, and understanding that they've been duped and still digging their heels in because they've already defended themselves once. So now they defend themselves, and then now they double down.
I have a hard time understanding the people that are saying that, vaccines were tested however long ago, 40 years ago, 20 years ago, and they were tested to be fine.
Yeah.
So stop asking questions about it. There are drugs on the market all the time that are approved. And then 10 years later, 20 years later, you see a lot of people have been injured and they pull the drug because they're like, this is not working. They used to x-ray women when they were pregnant in the 50s because
they gave them thalidomide. Yeah, no,
because they thought it was a great, new technology to.
Nilla wafers were considered a health food when I was a kid because they had weed in them.
Because they had weed in them. Remember smoking? Like your parents would be in a car with the windows rolled up and
100%.
But they didn't know that at the time that they were harmful or causing cancer to the kids in the back.
No, it's delicious.
And then at some point, there's a stop down. People say, oh, we just learned that this is not good for you. That you shouldn't be taking this, that this drug isn't working, that you learn things all the time. And everybody stops down and makes a new choice, right? And says, oh, okay, yeah, I'm going to stop using that. So it happens all the time. So for people to say it can absolutely not happen with vaccines, there's no way to make them better or because they're great already. It's like so strange.
No, but it's a religious concept. Not one word can be added or deleted. It's perfect. It's holy writ. It cannot be changed.
Weird.
It came from God himself. These are the tablets right here.
Robert De Niro when he's at a film festival and a documentary was coming out about vaccine by, I think, Del Bigtree. And he's talking about the documentary because he's got an autistic son. I think he's like 22 or 23 years old. That's one area where he's like, we have to look into this. What's going on with this? And he's kept the counter to him. At the time, the kid was 16 years old. But I think there's some moments, and they try to hide
Robert
it
De
as
Niro
much as possible.
suggested there's a link between vaccines and autism.
You've never seen this interview?
No.
I have to show it to you afterwards. Okay. So he's talking about it, and the host is trying to shut him up. And he's, you guys got to see this documentary. And he's not one that uses his kids as we know where he's at with Trump. We know he's got TDS.
Yeah.
We know he loses his mind. But when it comes down to vaccine and autism, that is a very personal thing to him.
But can you imagine not being allowed to ask?
Yeah, that's a problem.
I mean, I don't know if that's true or not. There's some evidence that it is true, and we do know that they took the additive out of the vaccine, but it, of course, had nothing to do with autism. But like, in what world can't you ask that question or demand like a straightforward answer? They're forcing your kids to take this.